GS3, though it seems to be simple, but it's not simple. That is a major problem with GS3, and that is the reason almost I would say the maximum number of aspirants are not able to score good despite good preparation. Hi, hello. So now mains scores have come out. So based on the analysis of mains scores and based on my latest few years of analysis of mains score, one thing I can conclude is as far as mains general studies paper 3 is concerned, the scores are not shooting up that easily. Only very few countable, very minimal number of students cross 100, and even a bright student, even a bright aspirant whom we expect to get good marks are not getting the expected scores in general studies paper 3. So this is very visible in the last few years. So why GS3 as such is not scoreable that much, right? So we are going to list out certain factors, certain reasons responsible for non-scorability of general studies paper 3. Now the very first reason is the syllabus is very generic, but the demand of the question is highly specific. See, what I mean by this is, see, suppose let us take the topic animal husbandry, crops diversification, cropping patterns, right? See, this is a very generic topic. One single word is there, but under this single word, which is an umbrella, there are lot many things, right? And every specific item connected with this topic has some amount of uniqueness. See, for example, if you take livestock, animal husbandry, bovine is different category, poultry is different category, right? Like that, pig farming, let us say, fisheries, let us say, like for example. So like that, there are very many micro level factors, micro level nuances involved in this area. Similarly with the food processing industries. Food processing industry as such is a very generic topic, but under this umbrella topic, there are hell number of things, right? And the questions are sometimes very general, but most often it is very specific, and the degree of coverage is vast, right? Generally we say general studies is like ocean, anything under sun is general studies, but GS3 is little bit more complicated, which you can't even phrase it out properly. That is the problem with general studies paper 3 syllabus, right? So that is the first thing. Now the second reason is with respect to science and technology and environment. See, the science and technology, again, most often aspirants focus on current affairs, right? Whatever the last 1 year current events, whatever like the topics based on the last 1 year current affairs, they prepare, right? But for the surprise, every year at least 2 or 3 questions, at least 2 questions from science and tech and environment, I would say, are from very basic or from the remote areas. See, for example, last year there was a question related to cellulose decomposition, which is not there in the current affairs much, but it is a kind of bit related to the basics. But again, there are science students and non-science students, and even science students also could not make it out, right? From current affairs, sometimes we have to think little bit more deep into the basics, right? And there was another question which was asking about Gothenburg Protocol, again which is a very remote area. See, Montreal Protocol, Vienna Convention, Stockholm Convention, Kyoto Protocol, all these things we must have studied. But Gothenburg Protocol, it's very uncommon, it's very remote, right? And a few years back, if I am right, 3 years back, there was a question, ecological carrying capacity. There was a question about ecological carrying capacity. Again, that's very basic, but the problem is when it comes into the mains paper, you can define it, but to explain it with example again is a big task, because generally when we prepare for mains, we don't give much emphasis for basics in science and tech and environment, but very often 2 questions or at least 2 or 3 questions, let us say, are in one way or the other related to either the basics or the most remote areas, right? Again there the aspirants are stuck. The next reason is internal security and disaster management. See, this is the most neglected area when it comes to general studies altogether, putting all papers together. Internal security and disaster management is most neglected area, right? And if at all aspirants are preparing, they prepare very minimal thing with respect to internal security and disaster management, but that is proving to be disastrous when it comes to scores. And also one more thing is the books, the standard books available in the market are also not that much exhaustive, as well as what I can say is predictive in terms of questions, right? So internal security and disaster management is another gray area in GS paper 3, though the topic seems to be very simple, little bit easier kind of thing, but actually it's not easy, right? So that is another reason. Then the next reason is there is a kind of vastness and vagueness. There is a kind of vastness and vagueness. See, what I mean by this vastness and vagueness is, see, subsidies, for example, let us say subsidies. Subsidies means there are many kinds of subsidies, right? And every kind of subsidy has got some kind of issue linked to it, right? And when it comes to subsidies, it's not just Indian context, world context, WTO subsidies, and there are many issues related to WTO subsidies, right? Then when you study subsidies, we study about externalities, positive, negative externalities, right? Definition part, okay, fine, but when there is a specific question hitting on a very particular micro level topic with respect to subsidies, though we know we are not able to drag the content to fill it for 150 or 250 words, that is a major problem, right? So lack of the structured content in the market, lack of the structured framework with respect to all this thing is another major hindrance factor to get a good score, right? See, when it comes to GS1, let us say history, art, culture, geography, ocean currents, atmosphere, troposphere, stratosphere, Pallava art, Mughal art, Chalukya art, there is a specific closed defined area which you can prepare well. When it comes to IR polity also, you have a very precise defined area, what is to be done, what is to be prepared. But GS3, though it seems to be simple, but it's not simple. That is a major problem with GS3, and that is the reason almost I would say the maximum number of aspirants are not able to score good despite good preparation. Only very few countable manage to cross 100 in GS paper 3. You can also have an analysis with respect to the current year mains scores also. Even All India rank 1 holder Isita Kishore scored 88 in mains GS3. In all other papers her scores were very good, but GS3 she could not cross 100. That is the truth with respect to general studies paper 3, right? Fine. Now, having listed out all these factors, I would like to highlight the sources, major sources of preparation with respect to GS3, right? And if you prepare meticulously according to what I say, definitely I am sure at least you will be able to cross 95, 100, something like that. That much I can say with confidence, right? Fine. See, coming to the sources, any kind of socio-economic issues, whether it is inclusive growth, livestock, animal husbandry or food processing, anything you name, right? The most dependable sources Yojana and Kurukshetra. Nowadays aspirants are not giving that much due importance to Yojana and Kurukshetra. See, at least minimum what you should do is you pick out the topics from Yojana and Kurukshetra and prepare some handy notes based on your current affairs preparation, right? So that is one most important thing. See, if you cover this Yojana and Kurukshetra for the last 12 months or 13 months, let us say, I'm sure definitely 90-95% of your socio-economic issues or economics related issues topics can be easily covered. And another major source is the economic survey. So these two are the major sources with respect to pure economic topics as well as the socio-economic issue related topics, right? Fine. Then the second thing with respect to science and technology and the environment, right? I would always say our books good enough. Environment and science and tech, we have separate book for mains science and technology. So these two are good enough. Added to this, what you should do is, see, there is one booklet called Dream 2047. This is a Government of India publication. It is freely downloadable version. PDF is available, right? So you can download from Dream 2047. Last 1 year you can pick the current topics from that, right? And that is another one good source to list out the current issue related topics of science and technology, right? And naturally the down to earth which is available in our IAS Google compilation, so that is good enough, right? And when it comes to this Nobel Prize, again I would say the last 10 years Nobel Prize concepts related to physics, chemistry, medicine, the basics, the basic biology, the basic physics, the basic chemistry, you must definitely prepare for science and technology. And whenever you prepare for science and technology, you dig little bit deep to the basics. And also one more thing is the contribution of Indian scientists, that is very important. See, for example, we are reading news about God's particle, Higgs boson, everything, but one important Indian physicist contribution, S.N. Bose, to quantum physics, right? So only because of the only in recognition of S.N. Bose contribution, that particle is named as boson, right? So though you read all articles with respect to boson, Higgs boson, God's particle properties, this, that, you should not miss to refer to the contributions of Satyendranath Bose. In fact, that was a mains question, and most of the students could not write well because they did not expect it. So whatever kind of science and technological development related news, if there is any significant contribution from Indian scientists, definitely you must go a little bit deep to dig into the basics and the contributions of the Indian scientists. That is most important thing with respect to science and technology in general studies paper 3, right? See, and also one more thing with respect to this general studies, that is science and technology part, sometimes you have to apply your mind also. For example, last year there was a question related to cellulose decomposition, and I know many of the aspirants did not attempt that question. They did not even worry to think at least what is what. See, generally we study stubble burning, pyrolysis, waste to wealth, all these items we study. At least we could have thoughts to an extent, what is cellulose? Cellulose, where is it is available? So at least from the kind of topics which you are read in current affairs, pyrolysis, stubble burning, waste to wealth, all this related, coal gasification. So these are all some related areas. You can manage to write something what is significant and relevant, because this topic is related to that only, right? What is cellulose? Basically any plant material will contain cellulose as a component, right? So just pick that basic and try to bring out something what you read, right? At least for 10 marks or 15 marks you will get 5, 4, 3, 2 marks, let us say. See, many people have lost services just because 1 mark, I know, right? So you can't take things lightly, right? So at least you should go think and dig little bit deep into the basics when it comes to science and technology, right? Fine. Then coming to internal security, right? See, internal security related issues, the current affairs, whatever it be. See, with respect to internal security issues and the current affairs, current topics, I would suggest IDSA website is good, right? So IDSA, at least last 18 months, if you cover well, you will get all the topics, major topics linked to internal security things, right? Fine. And when it comes to disaster management, I would suggest IGNOU material is freely downloadable, and I will give you one link in the description for disaster management. You can just download and prepare using IGNOU material. That is good enough, right? Fine. See, having said all this, the most important thing is you should practice well. What I suggest is, at least for those who are appearing for this MAINS 2023, please try to write answers for the last 10 years General Studies paper 3, right? See, I have already highlighted to you that previous year questions are precious for prelims. The same holds true for mains also. Previous year questions are precious, right? So please practice the last 10 years GS3 question papers, try writing answers, and please take notes based on the last 10 years question papers, right? That is the most important thing. Last but not the least, please practice the previous year question papers of General Studies paper 3 mains, right? Fine. See, if you do this, I am damn sure you will be the one who is able to score above 100 in General Studies paper 3, right? Wish you all the very best. Thank you.